Hello there. Welcome to another New Spurs Order podcast. We are at the end of the season. Um, Happy times, especially. I think this is going to be the closest I'm going to get to seeing you smile now the season's over. Tops, just joined by you today. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. I'm just relieved. I just needed it to be over. I needed it to be done with. So yeah, here we are, me and you again. Look at us.
Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe vibes. I'm feeling
Ah,
it. I'm feeling it.
yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Gosh, with the amount of speculation and rumors when it comes to incomings and outgoings, I almost, like I said to you before we came onto the recording properly, I almost just want to do an FM, go on holiday, and just see what we end up with. Because I actually am dreading the everyday speculation about every little thing which is going to happen, even though you just know next to nothing will happen until the Euros are finished. I just want to
Yeah.
enjoy the Euros in peace, but I just know that waiting rooms might open and shit like that, and I just can't be bothered.
Uh, I completely forgot about the concept of waiting
I that sounded like I was throwing shade at someone.
room.
It was just that it's just the generalization of kind of football Twitter and
Yeah.
all the speculation for me, and it just I don't know. I'm not really for all of that speculation. Anyway, we've played a couple of games since we last recorded.
Mhm.
Obviously had our last little game against Sheffield United, which really and truly was just to close out season. Didn't really mean much. It would have been nice to get an away win, and we did. It would have been nice for me to win my main FPL mini league as well, and I did. So again, I was just happy with that. Transferred in Eze on the final day, by the way, and he absolutely hauled for me. So maybe that's some food for thought for the summer ahead. Um, how about that? Now I'm fueling speculation. Um, what did you make of the Sheffield United game? Obviously, Ange had a tweak. People say he
Yeah, he
doesn't
did.
tweak, but he tweaked and
He
had
definitely tweaked.
Kulusevski as a nine, Son on the left again, and
Hmm.
Big Brennan on the right. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like, I suppose at this point, this kind of a game, you either have to take what you will from it, or you just take absolutely nothing. And me personally, I take nothing from this game. A team like this have conceded 100 plus goals in the Premier League. They've only managed 3 wins in the entire season. You know, they're a team that, from as far as I can remember, have been such a poor outfit in terms of what they produce up and down the pitch. So to be honest with you, us going down there was probably for me felt like a nice day out for the fans to end the season. And honestly, once the first goal went in, it really kind of opened the floodgates to what was a bit of an early cagey affair. But yeah, I mean, Ange tweaked it. Um, he interestingly put Kulusevski up front, which I think is an interesting way of using his skill set, and one I don't really hope he ever uses again. But yeah,
Oh
against
wow, you're not for it
against
going forward at all.
oh no, I'm not particularly for it. I just feel this notion of square pegs into round holes just not for me. I'm very much, if we have the player and the skill set and the position.
But if he puts a round ball in a square goal, he did not justify.
I
I mean,
mean, in
he
very
scored two goals. He scored two goals. Just playing devil's advocate.
in many ways, it does justify it, and it's funny as well because Kulusevski never shoots, but he
Yeah,
loves to find himself in areas.
that first goal was actually good. Like
It was a good goal. It was a good goal. It was a good
I know
goal.
the opposition are crap. I know the goalkeeper is probably the worst in the league. But that's a good finish. I
Yeah,
rated that.
no, I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's nice to end the season that way, and I think it's more important as well to get all the players ending what was a really kind of poorish run to the end of the season.
Mm.
And to get the result in that way, I think is positive, um, considering the previous 5 games or 6 games where the results and performances were a bit abject. But all in all, we cooked. Van der
Mm.
Ven continued in that role. Dragusin got some minutes. Madison, Son, Brennan, they all got assists. It was a nice day. Nice day, nice way to end the season. But yeah, it's an indication of lots of work that needs to be done, in my opinion as well. I feel like there is work to be done. Job's definitely not finished, but yeah, I think generally as the season has gone, just happy for it to be over now. Happy for us to have to go through this arduous process of wondering how we'll set up and how we'll concede a goal and how we won't score. And now to just think positively about the players having a season and a summer and a pre-season behind them with Ange coming into the new season with hopefully lots of new recruits and lots to think about positively with regards to players leaving as well and opening up squad space and wage reducing the wage balance sheet.
Yeah, for sure. And as we all know, it almost goes without saying there's a pretty long list of potential departures. We speak about it every week, I feel. And I keep on feeling like I add another list, another person to the list each and every week. At the moment, I've got Solomon Hill, Rodon. This is bearing in mind Tanganga's already gone. Um, Højbjerg, obviously.
Yeah.
Richarlison might go. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of up in the air, though, to be fair. Emerson, Lo Celso, and Dombele Regulon.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I missing, though? Sessignon's leaving on a free.
Sessegnon, Dyer will officially leave.
He's already gone, though,
Um,
to be fair. We even got a cheeky little fee for him, I think.
I mean, potentially Skip, maybe.
Yeah, I could see him
Potentially
leaving on
Skip.
loan.
I mean, I think if the right bid comes in for Basuma, I think they might move him on.
To be fair as well, I was just thinking when you were kind of breaking down Kulusevski's performance, and obviously you weren't big on him playing that role going forward. If you
Yeah.
don't see him in that role going forward, you probably don't see him as a right winger either. I mean, you're
I
probably
don't.
imagining you'll probably sell him as well, right?
Yeah, I think if a bid came in for him as well, I've kind of made peace with that as well.
I'm
Um,
just trying to think where
and
he could go.
there's just lots. There's lots to think about with regards to some of these guys because I actually feel we now need to get to a point where we are playing players in their most comfortable positions to get the best out of them. And
Hmm.
in many respects this season, we've muddled through and fine. There's been lots of positives. We had a really good run in that sort of second third of the season where we kind of, after the injuries had resolved and players had returned, we went on like a 13 game run where I think 13 games, what was it, 8 or 9 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, and we kind of put ourselves in Champions League sort of form, Champions League getting form really. But ultimately, when it's really mattered, the issues that we've had is that players who have not been in their specialist roles haven't performed in the roles that we need them to, i.e., the Romero, the Basumas, in that single pivot, the Werners, the Kulusevskis, the fullbacks at certain points. There's just been lots to really say. Okay, maybe there is some real credence, some real substance in actually just playing players in their specialist positions where they're the most comfortable. And generally, when they are the most comfortable, they can do things that we like expect and that we can predict them to do.
Hmm.
No one would have seen based off what happened last season with Kulusevski or Basuma or even someone like Sarr. No one would have predicted that they would have played the way that they played this season. No one would have said Sarr would have been super important to the way that we are off the ball. No one would have said Kulu would be very unproductive in front of goal. Basuma will be very unreliable on the ball, especially after the first sort of 8-9 games. as a single pivot and in his pressures and build up. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. And I think this is also supported by the fact that Ange now realizes that and says and has said in lots of presses that there is a need for lots of different kind of players in the team to improve the team. And I think again, that's okay. That's not a problem. I don't think that's a problem. I think it's actually all right to kind of take stock and look at the squad as it is and realize, okay, I now know what I want to get and what I've seen. And maybe this is maybe not for us. Maybe this is for us, and that's okay. That's just the development of the squad, the development of the manager's sort of viewpoint, how he sees the game, how fans see it as well.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I could see us probably moving Kulusevski to maybe being like a rotation option for Madison next season, upon signing another winger. And
Yeah,
well, let's hope that's maybe the case. Again, at the same time, I think Ange likes him. I'd prefer him to stay, but at the same time, like yourself, would probably listen to like a really good offer. I just don't think that any team will offer the amount of money it would take for us to kind of turn ahead a little bit. So I
agreed,
think he'll
agreed,
I think he'll stay. So
agreed.
yeah, another positive from the Sheffield United game that you alluded to as well. Like Dragusin, it was just good for him to get a start, and it just kind of makes you wonder as well, just if we had kind of made the decision on that being the back four a little bit earlier upon the Dockie's injury, when we played Arsenal and Liverpool, and we had those incidents with the set pieces as well, especially against Arsenal. My word,
Mm-hmm.
because not only is Dragusin making a big height difference in there, he's immediately just protecting Vicario as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've like obviously we had a horror show defensively against Liverpool, but at least we conceded all of our goals from open play. So
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, we made a bit of gradual progress with that. Um, Started off a bit shaky for me, but ultimately grew into the game. Van der Ven put in a very good performance at left back. So again, we might not even need to sign one in the summer. We can just kind of roll with that and rotate kind of like that if we need to. But yeah, we definitely need another right back.
Yeah.
I think unless we can find someone in the academy. Moving on to the
Uh,
Newcastle game now. I kind of have more stock, even though it was a ridiculous occasion, and I had everyone and their sons and their daughters asking why we were flying out to Melbourne literally the same day as our final game of the season.
mm-hmm.
It's what it is. Flew out there just to play a nice friendly, and it was kind of good for me, or good for all Spurs fans to see some of the younger players who are kind of given a chance to play in the first team, even though they've got a final on the weekend. Just throwing that way a little bit. Yeah, it was good. Kulizeski experiment got tried out again. Like you can't really make much of the first half. I just feel like we were in control purely because it just looked like we had a bit more energy. I think Newcastle were just there just to chill, to be honest, and let us practice our high press. And so Madison scored a nice goal off that. It was good for Austin to get a nice little start, but at the same time, like the one shot he had to deal with, he probably would have thought he could have done a lot better than just palming it out straight to Isaac, who only really had to tap it in. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
we had the second half then, in which Ange started to ring the changes in. We had Ashley Phillips come on for Van der Ven at halftime. So again, like another reason why it didn't make sense, we have a lot of players who are going to the Euros as well. A lot of coaches are going to be pissed at us, but at least Mickey got taken off a bit early for Ashley Phillips. George Abbott came on for Pedro Porro, and I think he ended up going left back with Emerson going back over to the right, and then Skip and Divine also came on. Um, yeah, then 20 minutes later, Hill and Donnelly came on, followed nearly 10 minutes later by Scarlett and Santiago. Then a couple of minutes later after that, Tyrese Hall came on, and then Alfie Whiteman had his like goodbye game, and then yeah, Kyra Martin came on with Leo Black with just a few minutes to go. But yeah, what did you make of the second half and the players that ended up essentially coming on from that youth team? Because I was very impressed with Dane Scarlett, how kind of lively he looked, how much he was attacking certain chances and attacking space. Like he looked hungry, at least, making sure he was going to get his chances either by hook or crook. Divine was tidy for me.
Yeah.
Hill only really started to look lively when he moved out onto the right.
Mhm.
Donnelly did okay. Tyrese Hall immediately just came on and balled out. He's definitely ready when it comes to see on his on the ball qualities to play in the first team, in my opinion. And yeah, I don't think there was enough time to really judge the other two. But yeah, what did you make of it?
No, I was really, really kind of positive about what I saw from Tyrese Hall. Really positive about what I saw from Divine. Really positive about the impact that Scarlett had. I feel like Scarlett probably realizes now that he's in that weird place whereby he's probably too good for the 21s, uh,
Mm-hmm.
but he's not getting enough first team game time to be someone that could be considered as a squad option. So he's kind of got to just build that. He does look like, over the year or years he has bulked, which is positive.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely feels to me a little bit more selfish, but he does look a little bit better rounded, and he's doing a lot more different things for his game, which I think is good.
He
I
looks
think
like someone who's in the Red Ribbon Army, like a Red Ribbon Android. Like he's just there programmed to score goals.
so. It would be good to hopefully be able to get him some minutes somehow next season, be it in Europa League or maybe even in the first team in the league. But I think he'll be good for us. And unfortunate, last season he was unfortunate that loan to Ipswich in what was essentially a league winning team under McKenna was just unfortunate, and it's very difficult to be able to judge how the season is going to go. And the last thing that a manager is going to do when trying to chase promotion is, give a kid from London the opportunity to kind of get some extra minutes. So I think what we did by bringing him back was a smart decision, but it then obviously uh, it hampered what he was left with because um, yeah, he had very little minutes sort of left really. But yeah, positive for him to get some game time again and to be implementing what he's probably doing regularly in training. I think Divine is someone who just generally was just he's a very confident boy, very confident on the ball, wants it constantly to his feet, constantly wants to be involved, and then when he gets it, he knows exactly what he wants to do. So I think for those three, it was really really positive. I mean, and I think when I say really positive, I think it's so important for us to just remain hopeful and steadfast that Ange will
Mm.
give some of these kids a chance because
Your
I,
boy
I
Santiago looked quite
like,
bright as well, I have to
like
say.
I have said, and I've been saying this for a long time, that like if the players are good enough at this level, especially the young ones, you just need to give them a chance. And I feel when given the opportunity, yeah, they'll be able to show you that they can do it. But I also believe as well that what we're doing in the academy at the lodge is very, very positive, and we are churning out very, very good youngsters. I mean, look at on Wednesday or Thursday, Will Lancashire, the main striker for the under 21s, was named the under 21 player of the year in the PL2, and Tottenham aren't even they're not even top of the league, So he's
I
been
thought we were top of the league, but they just did the playoff thing anyway.
oh sorry the playoff, yeah. So I mean he's been exceptional, and he's I think as well when he first even came into the academy setup, he wasn't even a natural striker. I think he was playing originally as like an attacking midfielder, and just because of the way that they've used him, he's played basically most of the season, if not all of it, up front, and ended up, finishing with player of the season. So there's lots of really good young players that have been given the opportunity, and I just hope that Ange kind of takes some credence in supporting these guys and bringing them through and giving them some level of a pathway. Because I think we have some guys who are really good enough, with people like Bergval coming in, and the likes of Donnelly and Phillips, all these guys who have now really had first team experiences. You just got to integrate them, give them a chance, give them a chance.
Phillips looks tiny as well.
Yeah, he is. He's how can I say? He's a physical specimen. Having watched a little bit of him for the 21s recently and last couple of games, he's comfortable on the ball. Like I said in the group, super comfortable on the ball. Does sometimes make me feel like he's a little bit slow on the reaction with regards to recoveries, but when he gets going, he's massive. He's over 6 foot, but on the ball, super comfortable to start with. So be interested to see where he goes, because I think we'll probably loan him again, and hopefully he can find maybe another championship loan, which I think would be really good for him. That would really help him, because leaving Plymouth as the young player of the year when he's a loanee is again another pretty impressive feat.
What do you think Santiago's future looks like? Because I think he's probably just got to leave at this point. Like,
yeah,
either permanently or alone. But that left wing spot was so up for grabs this season, and to be like, I don't even remember him getting a single minute. So yeah, I mean, him not even getting an opportunity to play for like 5-10 minutes in like any given game, with the performances which were being churned out by our left wingers, is pretty damning. And
it is
yeah, if I was him, his family, and his agent, I'm looking for a loan move at least.
Yeah, like everyone knows, he's been in the first team setup for some time. He's been in the first team setup in terms of training and around the first team since as far back as Jose. So he came on Spurs when he was under Poch as a trainee, and under Jose and Conte, he trained regularly with these guys. So with the first team these times, so you kind of just hope, being so influential in the 21s, that you'll be given the chance to hopefully make some first team minutes. But I don't know, I feel like maybe this might not be it for him, which is a shame, because I've been one of his biggest supporters, and I've tried to push to try and get him some first team action, especially over someone like Werner. But this is where we're at. Potentially, this is where we're at. I can't complain too much if a young guy doesn't get too much minutes. It's pressure, lots of pressure.
This is what I mean. Like, not even a 5-10 minute cameo, though. I mean, it's a bit harsh, but
yeah.
Can Tyrese Hall get minutes next season, do you think? Because I'm looking at him, like, when he's receiving the ball in deep areas, he's very comfortable. He's very comfortable telling. He's very aware of where he is. He's got a clear picture in his mind of what he wants to do. Yeah, very, very tidy on the ball. Off the ball is where my concerns would be. I didn't really see him tested by Newcastle, so I'm not sure how well he'd be able to protect the back line. But I think the only way to find out
is to give him a chance.
To develop him is to throw him in at a deep end a bit.
Yeah, I think definitely on the ball, you're right. I think he can.
I think he's ready to play first team football now. If we're just looking at on the ball quality,
definitely be trusted on the ball. But again, you're talking about a 17, 18-year-old who's really going to put himself out there to try and impose himself in effectively a men's team. It depends. I feel like if we move Skip or Højbjerg, I feel like the opportunity could open up.
Højbjerg's gone. He actually has to go.
Yeah, could definitely open up. But again, don't want to put too much pressure on the kid, and he's done lots of really positive things for the academy teams that he's represented, and then obviously as well would have been given added confidence to be in first team squads in the last few games, and obviously being picked to go to Melbourne as well, and scoring his penalty when he came on. So yeah, lots to feel really positive about him. I think he and Mikey will be very, very, very special players to watch in the next year or two.
Yeah, shout out Mikey Moore. So 2 goals against France's on the French under 17s, and another goal tonight against Portugal, despite us losing
Hmm.
4-1. Um, really nice goals all round. Like he come off the left to score the goal tonight against Portugal. Um, yeah, a few of my boys were asking about him, and I just likened him to a Ribery regen straight away, even though that's probably very high expectations. But um, couldn't really think of anyone else in terms of like an archetype. But either way, taking names out of it, I think he's got a very high ceiling, and yeah, hopefully he can get some first team opportunities in the first team next year as well. Again, I think it would obviously save us a lot of money if we didn't actually have to buy a left winger. But yeah, having another left winger or someone who can play centrally with him coming in certain cup games or European games, not even having to start, but just cameoing, I think could be really, really good for his development. But even so, I think Mikey Moore could even be ready for a championship loan um, if it came to it. But yeah, we'll see. I don't want someone like him to play too many games too early because we've been stung by that um, a few times, and you see it with other players getting stung by that a few times. And yeah, maybe starting week in week out in the championship might not be the best thing right now.
No, maybe not. It's not necessarily a bad thing either. I mean, you look at players like, how can I say, Phil Foden and Oscar Bob and Cole Palmer. Sometimes, yeah, you can blood these guys, but also you need to give them the right support so that they can slowly be integrated into the first team and given the opportunities without, what's the word, uh, draining them
Yeah, playing
of
them
their
into the
power
ground.
of their powers and skills. Um,
Yeah, I think we got good foundations now, to be fair, albeit only for about a year now. But it looks like all the academy teams play in a very similar, if not the exact same way as we do in the first team.
hmm.
So the transition should be quite good now, considering
Yeah,
like a lot of these players in the youth teams are training with the first team anyway. Um, so the transition is a fair bit easier than it has been, even since like Poch days. Like you didn't really see Poch give Madueke or Edwards a chance. Gave Skip a chance here and there, and obviously blooded through Winks. But yeah, you didn't really see the attacking players get a look in. Where again, like that's another area where we needed some more strength in depth. So yeah, hopefully the pathway is just that little bit more favourable now. It looks to me on the eye that it is, and again, I just want to fast forward to next season already, man. Like I just want to get it cracking, just see what the squad looks like, and then I'm feeling optimistic though because obviously as we kind of do the end of season review, as skeptical as you have been about the attack,
yeah.
given how badly it's been performing, we scored a fair amount of goals, finished fifth in the league after let's see, what was it, eighth last season with Harry Kane. Um, so would you kind of grade our season so far, obviously first year under Ange, as a success on the whole? Like, what would you kind of grade it out of 10?
Um, this is a question that I thought about quite a bit. Out of 10, I'd give it a 7.
Yeah, I was thinking a 7.
I'd give it a 7. I think we've done quite well considering um, the different injuries, suspensions, the new management, and the new style of play, which is such a contrast to what we've been used to. And honestly, just the low expectations. Just the low expectations that were set. Um, there was a time where certain, fans were of the opinion that we would maybe finish ninth, 10th. Um, so for us to finish 4 or 5 places above that and be in and around that consistently this season is a testament to what we've been doing, I think. Um, so I think based on everything, yeah, injury, suspension, new style, um, the end of season form being, I'd say a bit of an anomaly, but I'd say 7 out of 10 is probably about right for what we've done this season. But I
Mm.
don't think next season can afford to be any less than that.
Yeah, that's fair. Like you got to factor in how we performed in the cup competitions as well. But I think, given the overhaul, it was a new team with a new style of play. Like
Hmm.
I think half the lineup was pretty new. I just remember their first game of last season away at Brentford, and just like the whole back line, bar one, was new. And the only concurrent member from last season that was in the same back line was Emerson Royale. So that was interesting. Oh no, Romero played, but he only played like 15 minutes or something, didn't he? Because he went off with
Yeah.
a concussion. Sanchez came on as a sub in that game, and he actually performed quite well, if memory serves me right.
Mm.
I forgot he played that game, but yeah, like half of that back line was brand new, like Udogi, Van der Ven, Vicario, and then yeah, I see new goalkeeper as well, which is such a big responsible position. Um, that left centre back role, yeah, just everything from the top to the bottom was just completely brand new. Madison having to spearhead like a new attack, really knitting things together really well. But yeah, a new style of play for the rest of the players which were concurrent members, players like Son, Kulusevski, who I thought would thrive, but never mind. Um, and yeah, just everyone else really. So it's hard to be critical of it despite what we had to endure towards the end of the season and those 4 defeats in five. And yeah, it's it's over now though. It's over. Nice, nice 7 out of 10 score. I think that's fair. What was your moment of the season? If you had to pick one, and I struggled with this as well, so I might just end up piggybacking off you. I'm just
My
trying to think.
my moment of the season. Um,
I remember the one I celebrated the most, but it's definitely Shameless when we beat Liverpool at home.
I mean, that was that was pretty. Yeah,
But
that was
we got so much jam in that game.
that was an odd one. I think my moment of the season, even though it ended up feeling insignificant, I think the 4-0 win away at Villa for me.
Oh, okay.
When I think about what the season was looking like, and it felt like it was on a bit of it was on a knife edge. You know, we had been muddling through games, and Villa were in a good run of form. They hadn't really lost at home apart from one game, and they'd beaten City, beaten Arsenal, and
Mm.
I remember it feeling like an all eyes on me fourth place. You know,
It wasn't all
fourth
eyes on
place,
big game, wasn't it?
fourth place special, and we really just went and just battered them. And for me, even that day, we had an injury to Van der Ven, and Werner
Mm.
was on the left wing, and I remember thinking, we're not even really at full strength, you know, but we still managed to go to Villa, a very good Villa side, and put them away, put them to the sword, and that to me was a moment that made me feel like, okay, despite us being kind of like average at points in the season, we'll probably get somewhere playing like this, especially under Ange. Whether it's now or whether it's later on, but I thought, yeah, okay, I can see some level of credence in the fact that yeah, this is probably going to be good for us at some point. So that for me, that was my moment of the season. I can't sit here and say us beating nine-man Liverpool or beating Sheffield United, who conceded 100 goals, you know, at the last minute. I can't sit here and say that. Although the home game early on in the season against Man United was a huge one for me
Yeah, that's the second. That
because
was second.
for me that was also like a switch in me, and it felt like a switch in our fan base realizing that these big games that we didn't used to perform in, we can control and win them well. Um, and I felt like even though there were chances that were given up, it was a game that we thoroughly deserved, in my opinion, especially our second half. Um, and I think not only was it a positive sort of result, but it was also the day that I got engaged. So I think that was also a really positive sort of memory for me. But yeah, I think for me it was definitely the Villa 4-0 result. I was thoroughly impressed by how we played, how we executed, um, and put them to the sword when it mattered in that game.
Yeah, yeah, that's very fair. That's much less shameless than me. Um, fair enough. Would your goal of the season be Porros against Burnley, or do you have another in mind?
Hmm.
Because I know we made a little video on that recently, ish, and I said Son at the Emirates initially, but just in terms of quality and how much meaning the goal had, it's hard to
Okay.
argue against Star actually.
How much meaning the goal had?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
depends whether you
I
want
think
to
that
factor that in your own decision or not. I think,
I
but
think the Saar goal for me was that was my best goal. But if I think of what other goal that I would really like, there was another goal that that was it. It was the second goal against Palace. Uh, Son. It was just so well worked. It was after Christmas, away at Palace, 1-0 up in the first half.
yeah, I was
The
there for that.
game was quite tight. We worked it so well through the midfield and the defence. Poro infield to Sar. Sar long ball across to Madison. Madison Jinky heads it down to Johnson. Johnson
Who?
reverse. Johnson reverse to Madison. Madison cut back to Son. It was an excellent team goal. Yeah, yeah. So that was if I'm talking about the quality of a goal, then yes, I think it would be the Palace goal against
That win kept us top
the,
of the league at the time as well. I think
the
because
second
we
goal
had
against
some good
Palace.
celebrations afterwards.
Yeah, but for me, in terms of importance, it would have to be the goal against Man United. That Saar goal was just, it's great.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess in terms of quality of goal, it's hard to look past Porros against Burnley, but yeah, in terms of well worked team goal significance, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give you that one. That's
that
good.
Porro goal was pretty good. He doesn't score simple goals, does he?
No,
He
he's
wants
got some
everything.
good tech when he wants to show it off. He
He
needs to shoot.
does, yeah, he does, he does. You're right, he does. He has really good tech when he wants to.
Who was your signing of the season,
Oh, it's easy. Uh,
Mickey?
Mickey Van der Ven. He's like
It's because it's quite tight
when I
between him and Vicario. To be
when
fair.
I when I think of how transformative a single
Mm,
player can be to how a team performs, how a team defends, how a fan base look at the confidence you have in the team, and when he's actually in the team, what he actually does in terms of what his output is, what his like the actual the meat and bones of what he's doing on a weekly basis. It's not only just him being in the team, but actually what he's doing is excellent. And you know, I just hate to think where we would be had we not had him injured in that game against Chelsea because he's just been incredible for us. He's just been incredible. I think
mm,
he's so strong. He's so quick. I think even though he's not super technical, he's a little bit limited, but he's very good at what he does, and he's comfortable with what he does. His recovery pace is amazing. I feel like maybe he still needs to develop that relationship with Romero, and there's little bits of his game I think he can improve. I think in terms of what he does on the ball, he can improve. I think he is not as imposing aerially as much as I think he should be. But I think for me, in a first season, he's been incredible. Like it's a snip. We got him arguably for a snip. You know, like I just think he's
Yeah,
been
I
such a
actually thought we'd
such a
overpaid
success.
for him at first as well. So just
Yeah,
shy of 40 million. I was like, okay. I
and I
think we were
think
all kind of leaning more towards Tap Sober at the time anyway, and it felt like we were compromising looking at Mickey van der Ven. But that honestly could not have got much better at all.
yeah, I'm a big fan of his, and I think quietly, I'd say just behind him would probably say Doggy and Vicario. Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to include Udogi as he was kind of technically signed last season but was on loan.
yeah.
But honestly, it's a case of him, I think, Udogi missing a few too many games as well. So unfortunately, getting injured towards the back end of the season, we didn't really get to enjoy him as much as maybe we could have done. Whereas Mickey injured as well, but got to finish the season and finish the season really well. So, um, yeah, Mickey van der Ven, who won the Player of the Season as well. It's pretty hard to argue against that. Who was your worst signing of the season? Because you've got a
Mm,
few candidates here, to be fair. Because I thought it was going to be obvious in Timo at first, and then you've got Brennan Johnson, who you've got to factor in the fee into, although he had a decent amount of G&A. You got Mana Solomon, who was signed on the free but has been useless for over 2/3 of the season, and he's been injured. So, who else did we? Yeah, all the other signings
I
tanked,
would
to be fair. So,
say it's been unequivocally, easily Timo Werner. It's been a complete waste of time. It's been a complete waste of time on all fronts. Someone who's 26, 27, in what you would say the prime of his career, hasn't scored a goal in like almost 6 months, gets on loan to Tottenham, comes and starts on the left wing, so scores 2 goals in total in 9 months, ends the season on the whimper. He is just like everything that we knew about this guy is exactly what we thought it would be. Um, I do not hit anything in any people say about him being a great space runner, him being someone who creates angles. I just think from a technical perspective at this level, he's been such a disappointment. And one of the big things that I was reading when I would see a lot of the information written about him was that he was supposed to come to England to regain some form and confidence to get himself back in the Germany squad for the Euros in Germany. Lo and behold, European provisional squads have been picked. And yes, all right, despite injury, I do not think any of his form would have ever pushed him to being in that squad, despite it being a team named by Nagelsmann. I just think it was such a waste, and the notion of us actually even taking him on as a £50 million signing, despite him liking the squad and really enjoying the camaraderie and all that jazz. I just think you'd be wasting your time and your money with him. You would be wasting it. There would be no point. So for me, he's been the flop of the season, the categorical flop of the season. Even though he
I
came
can
in and
see
gave
him. I can see him at Palace next year
uh,
because I'd still I stand by. Like I genuinely think he could have been quite useful, or at least more useful than he was for us if we had played him in this like kind of 10 position.
hmm
He just gets to float around and then make runs in behind, and obviously has a lot more options for combination play. Just wasn't getting that obviously isolated on our wing, and he's just too limited to play there. And ultimately, he showed a few bits of promise in
yeah,
his first like kind of 2-3 games, but overall, he didn't really add anything to our attack. If anything, it was more of like a net negative because we were just turning it over quicker than we were before, getting countered more often as a result, and then we saw what happened to our defence against Fulham, against Newcastle. It's yeah, it was a strange one because I'm trying to think who were the alternatives that we could have signed in January as well, even if it was a loan, because that Werner one kind of came out of nowhere when there was speculation about other names. Antonio Nusa. That was like
Yes,
on the verge of being done, wasn't it? And then all of a sudden Brentford swooped in, then
and
decided
then I
against
think
it, and then we went for Werner. So that could have been so different. I don't know how much better it would have been, if at all, because Nusa's still young and obviously quite raw with his technical ability. So yeah, and on top of that, he seems to have injury issues, which we didn't even plan ahead for. But yeah, that was a
mm,
strange January, wasn't it?
it was a strange January. Um, I don't know. Januaries can always be opportunistic, and in some ways, you might get periods of time where you get a really good deal, and there are some days that you get periods of time where you get a really bad deal. And whilst you
Mm.
can look at the January where we signed Lucas Moura, not a great deal, but you look at the January you signed Bentancur and Kulusevski, that's a good deal. And it looks like the summer's come round whereby we had Timo Werner, not a good deal. Um,
The
it's just
Dragosin's been decent.
Dragon's been good. I think I think the low level of playing time hasn't really helped, but I think when he has played outside of the Fulham game, I'd say he's given a good account of himself. Yeah, I'd say so.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think it gives me hope now going into this summer is that Ange was literally saying in his press conference that okay, like we've had a plan in mind and we've had it for months now, and I'm very happy with it. So yeah, we just got to see what happens there. I think that's just kind of agreeing to what the short list of players is and what the players we're willing to let go are. Um, how we'll execute it and when is going to be a completely different thing. I'm looking at Zirkzee a little bit stronger now as well, considering now Thiago Motta's left. It kind of seems that everything would just kind of it kind of it just reminds me of Lons a little bit from last season where they had that unprecedented super season, and as soon as they kind of finished it, Seka Fofana went to Saudi, Openda went to Leipzig, and everyone else just kind of seemed to get moves, and they had a completely new team this season. Um, so with Motta leaving, like I was thinking beforehand, if Motta stayed and Bologna just played Champions League football, I'm thinking if I'm Josh Zirkzee, I'll probably stay there for another season for my development. I get to play Champions League ball. I'm an
Right?
important player in this team, and
Yeah.
now Motta's going to Juventus. The release clause is still 40 million. If he has like a decent season in the Premier League, like we could just flip him for double that if we wanted to. That's if we wanted to. And if not, we can keep it. I think that's a snip for 40 million as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. I think that's too good of an opportunity to pass up, though.
Yeah, I feel like there's something there with Xerxes. There's definitely something there, but I don't know. When I look more into what the media is saying, especially the Italian media, gives me the feeling that he wants to stay in Italy. I think he's angling for a big move to AC now that
Oh gosh, yeah, they seem to be really fine negotiations for him as well. That's just reminded me.
now that Giroud is gone and they haven't really managed to work it out there. They're striking
Where did
chord.
AC finish in the league this year?
I'm not sure. I think that they probably finished in the top four, but I don't think they finished. Oh,
Oh, okay, they finished second. Well, rest my case then.
okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
Zerk
because
saying Raphael Leao combination could seriously cook. To be fair, yeah. Okay, if I'm him, I'll probably go there. Can't even
well,
lie.
that's quite funny, really,
Can
because
AC Milan afford that though? Where are they getting that Pete from? I thought they were brokies.
it's an interesting one.
They
Yeah,
could just sell up Leao.
and they actually lost to AC Milan tonight as well. Strange one.
Hmm.
No, AC Milan lost to Genoa tonight. So excuse me.
No, Bologna lost to Genoa. Yeah, that.
Excuse me. Yeah. Goodness,
Oh, there you
Genoa.
go. We could just sign Malinovsky. He scored tonight. He was on that radar for a couple of Januaries back then. Back when.
Yeah.
Oh, where did AC Milan get 40 million from? That's annoying. Yeah, I'm kind of half looking at that Dovbik guy that scored he scored a hat trick for Girona tonight. Looks like he's had a really good season for Girona as part of the City group. We've obviously got close links with the City group with Mun and Ange, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not even sure if he's going to be better than Richarlison, to be honest, but we'll see. Feeding into the speculation again. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? I just realised that Newcastle played again tonight. They played the A League All Stars and lost 8-0.
8-0. Yes.
So yeah, as pointless as our mini tour was, yeah, they can hold that.
Take from that what you will, pal.
Gosh. Well, there's that. There is that. We were debating in the group earlier as well. Would you rather Eze or Elise?
If it was up to me, when it was just like no holds barred,
You
I'm
can only
taking
chose one.
I'm taking Elise every single time.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I think we need Eze more.
We do. That's actually a good way to put it because I was just thinking Eze the whole time, purely for that reason. Left wing and obviously centre midfield, complete 10 and probably 8 as well if
Yes.
we really wanted him to.
Yes. If it was really up to me, I think in terms of real star quality, game changing quality, Elise. But in terms of the consistency and the versatility that you have in someone like Eze, it's it's actually so key. I mean, when I watched the game against Villa, fair enough. Villa might be, top four secured. They look to be somewhat checked out. They're on the beach, but the consistency and the quality of his goals and assists in this game is just fantastic. He's such a star quality.
It's
He's such a
fantastic.
he's such a good player, and I just think he's the kind of player that if he came to us at this point, this would be such a good trajectory for his career. He would offer us so much. He's a goal getter. He's a goal creator. He takes set pieces. He can take penalties. He's English. His profile is not so high yet. He's not much of a diva. Like he knows how to lead a team. This is a
Mm.
player. This is a player who I think has such great
Phil
qualities.
Palace on his back posts are hard to be fair.
He's a leader, and I just think this is the kind of player that we absolutely should be doing everything to secure. We should absolutely be doing everything to secure. So for me, I just want us to do the business, get it done as soon as possible.
Well, there you go. Hopefully that kind of fuels some speculation more. We can also get Eze's family back into some of the premium boxes at Spurs again. But Tops, thank you for joining me on this end of season review. Thank you to those who are watching. on this fine Friday evening as it stands. And yeah, it'll be on to the summer now where we'll still obviously record a few podcasts. There might even be a Patreon piece here and there. Still need to talk about Conor Gallagher with Mr. Soft at some point, which I'm sure he can't wait for. And yeah, obviously catch us on the socials, TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter, at Newspairs Order. Audio form for this will come out every Saturday morning. Now we've got more time to actually digest it over the weekend with us not playing any games. Yeah, I just want the Euros to hurry up, get done with, get the transfers starting to get sorted. I just need next season to start tomorrow, man. Or at least pre-season anyway. And yeah, for now, thank you again, Tops, and
No
peace out.
problem.